let's start with the two names that are getting the most play. And this is what I'm hearing. And this is also, I think, a little bit of speculation in terms of a couple of coaches that would be big time wins. And it's brought to you by Boundless Moving. From the 2-hour minimum to turnkey operations, they have you covered. They have you covered. Boundless Moving is Tennessee and in Charlotte. Boundless Moving. Google them. Tell them Off the Hook Sports sent you. So what are the two names we're primarily hearing right now to replace Kelly Harper as a Lady Vol head coach for the women's basketball team?
Yeah, so the two prominent names are Becky Hammon and Lindsay Gottlieb. For those who don't know, Lindsay Gottlieb is the USC coach. She's had a lot of success there. She has gone to the Final Four with Cal, which is pretty impressive. And so Lindsay Gottlieb has a great track record. Becky Hammon has been involved, is the first female NBA assistant, I believe. She is now the head coach of the WNBA team, the Las Vegas Aces. So she has a lot of connections too. Becky Hammon has never coached at the college level, though. She's always been in the pros as a WNBA assistant, an NBA assistant, an overseas assistant, or overseas head coach. Something like that. Overseas player. So she was a Spurs assistant from 2014 to 2022, and she is now the Las Vegas Aces head coach.
So here's the mindset by some people. Go throw whatever money you need to at her so that you can get yourself a coach with professional experience and somebody that's going to be just a home run. No question about it. I've got a big question about it. And I have the same question because this reminds me of Jon Gruden. There was no guarantee that Jon Gruden was going to be just an incredible recruiter and worked tireless hours and an unbelievable college head coach, even though he had had success at the NFL level. So I think this is the same thing. I don't think there's any guarantee Becky Hammon would have success because she feels like a pro coach to me. And I'll add on to that. I think it's a long shot. Unless she just grew up loving Pat Summitt, why would she come to Tennessee? Caleb, this to me sounds like a fairy tale type of hire.
Yes, this is getting wide-eyed over pro success, which makes no sense. And also, not just pro success, but I mean, we could talk like qualifications here. I mean, you're just looking at the name because she coached under Greg Popovich for a while. Now, she has won, to her credit, she's won back-to-back WNBA championships. 2 years coaching in Vegas, 2 championships. That's pretty impressive. However, I mean, guys, I'm going to throw a name out there for you, Dave. A name that you might be familiar with. It's a guy by the name of Bill Walsh. Remember when Stanford took a chance on Bill Walsh because of his NFL success
Yes.
long time ago?
Yes.
How'd that work out?
Well, he's pretty much pushed out the door, and what he brought, that West Coast timing offense, was so commonplace. It's almost like offenses nowadays with the RPO. I mean, they're new in the beginning. Like what Chip Kelly did was new in the beginning, but now it's just you get ready for that for everything else. So no, it didn't work out well. But the Becky Hammon thing to me is fun again to talk about. But here's the other thing. Let's say Tennessee got Becky Hammon to be the head coach of the Lady Vols. And she has accomplished, she has won professional championships, which again is a different, not better, not worse, but Caleb, it's a different job, right? Coaching in the pros.
Totally different job.
Totally different. Not better, worse, just way, way, way different. And especially nowadays, even more so. To think that she's just going to step in and be great at college is a huge reach to me in and of itself. I don't know that she's going to be great at college. And here's the other thing. Do you think for 1 second she is whose protege? Greg Popovich at the San Antonio Spurs?
Yes, Greg Popovich. Okay.
So what's going to happen in 2 years when Greg Popovich wins one more title with Victor Wembanyama, and they get the call that he's done, and they call her and they say, "Would you like to take over and be the head coach of one of the most transcendental coaches or players in the history of the game?" You're going to say yes. So you're going to lose her in a short amount of time, because I think Popovich is what, 78, 80?
Yeah, I think that's Popovich's goal. That was always his goal, was to get her to be his next in line. He wanted to make sure he built the Spurs up to where she could win with, because what Pop wants is he wants her to be the first women coach in the NBA, and then her to have a ton of success in the NBA because she's coaching Victor Wembanyama. And so then the narrative 50 years from now is the first women's head coach in the NBA won 5 NBA titles. You know what I mean? Or something like that. That's what they're trying to do here.
She might have already been the head coach of the Spurs had they not won the lottery, because I don't know that Popovich would have come back if he didn't have Wembanyama. I think that re-excited his career. Now we do have a breakdown for Josh Ward, 5 things you need to know about Lisa Gottlieb, because I think Lindsay Gottlieb, because I don't want to put words in your mouth, Caleb, but this seems like if you want to talk about a big time hire, this is a big time hire that is a lot more approachable than Hammon. So just for those that don't know, and then we'll do the 5 things Josh said to know about Lindsay Gottlieb, and it's on offthehooksports.com right now. What are your impressions of her from afar? To me, it's kind of like if you look at the realistic candidates and take out the Mulkeys, take out the Genos, just going and getting the Dawn Staleys, this one seems to me like the most approachable candidate that would be a bang, bang, awesome hire. You?
I love this hire. Now, let me address something people are trying to say. There's this idea that Lindsay Gottlieb is a California person, so she'd want to stay out there because she was at Cal from 05 to 08, then at UC Santa Barbara, then back to Cal, and then at USC. But she spent 2 years in the NBA, too, as an assistant for the Cavs from 2019 to 2021. And by the way, she helped develop that Cavs team into a playoff team in the post-LeBron era, which is the most impossible thing anyone's ever done.
Yep.
She also is from New York. She's coached at Syracuse and New Hampshire. So the truth of the matter is she's not married to California. I think she's just taking jobs out there because people know her more out there. So more job offers have come her out there. That happens a lot.
Well, and I don't want to make anybody mad, but maybe they're a little more open-minded to giving out these sorts of jobs to women. Right.
Possibly. I mean, I think the Lady Vols are pretty open-minded to giving out these jobs.
I'm not comparing to the Lady Vols, but in general, I think a woman probably has a better opportunity to get a better job on the West Coast than in the South. Is that fair to say?
Okay, I'll give you that. So
you treated a little bit better, but anyway, maybe that's just me.
But yeah, so she's at USC now. I think Tennessee could definitely offer her a pretty good contract. And here's the other thing, and Dave, what have I always said? The most untapped market in college football, and I think it applies to women's college basketball too, for coaches, are Ivy League graduates who know the game. Because I have
love saying this. Is she an Ivy League graduate?
She went to Brown. Her parents are Ivy League graduates. I love this because I've said for a long time, too often we all watch college football games and the coaches it's baffling how much less intelligent they are than the average person watching the game. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And if you get is it also fair to say that Ivy League athletes, they're not Ivy League athletes because they were athletes. They were students first, right? They actually they qualify for those Ivy League schools usually, don't they?
They did. Yes.
So they're typically smart. So Lindsay Gottlieb is undeniably smart.
And I don't know about undeniably.
She's a Brown graduate. She's from a family of Ivy Leaguers.
Okay.
And she has a proven track record. I think she's really smart. And I think Lindsay Gottlieb, that is my top hire far and away. Also, I'll just point this out. The last Jewish coach Tennessee hired worked out pretty well on the court. And it was on the men's side, but he was pretty good, right, Dave? Before he got fired for recruiting violations.
Yeah, there was that. I mean, you do have to include that